Good day, I'm Ikslorin, and last week we looked at this Tempo Mage that everyone is up in arms about after Blackrock Mountain was released. This Tempo Mage by Inar Janus, and well, it did prove itself last week to be very good, and we actually hit a win streak and went all the way to 14 without any losses really. And then also I guess another reason for why a lot of people like it is because it is very cheap, and more importantly because it has a high win per hour ratio, so you can get a lot of wins in and a lot of gold very fast, and you can also very importantly rank up very fast with this deck. I like it. It's very competitive and really works. But when I was researching, actually trying to look for the other deck that we did last week, because that is the one that everyone uses, and I normally every time there's a new deck I always want to play it myself, because that is the best way for me at least to learn how to play against it. But I also found this Tempo Mage, and it should also be really good because Freikuk, who has made it, did get all the way to legendary, not only to legendary but top legendary with it. So it's obviously going to be having some substance to it. It has to be good and not just inferior to the other one, I think, at least. It may also be that it's a bit outdated. I don't think it actually was. I think it was updated like 1 or 2 days ago from whenever I nicked this one. So actually let's just look at what differences there are in this deck. And the first one is this Mech Warper, which is very interesting to me at least, because there's only a piloted shredder for it to really synergize with. And I don't think actually just throwing down a Mech Warper turn 2 just to fool your opponent to think you are actually a Mech Mage is worth the 2 slots. So I guess this gotta be more than enough already synergy, so with a Mech Warper and a Pilot Shredder turn 3. I guess that is really the idea here. Other differences would be 2 mirror entities instead of a counter spell. Mainly, I guess it's because it is strong against decks that don't really use spells like Sue, which are really back into popularity after Blackrock Mountain also was released. Kesson Mystic, because we have all of these hunters and mages around, especially since this Tempo Mage is now so where I think at least a lot of people use it. I haven't myself run into it, but I have heard a lot of people talk about it, and also seen a lot of people play against it on stream. So while it's not in my own personal experience, I still would think that that is the reasoning why. So also we have still the 2 Asia Drakes, the Lothep, Sylvanas, and the Ragnaros, as always. But we also got Sludge Belgers, which is where it begins to show that it's actually a little bit less aggressive than the other one, and may also have a little bit extra potential outside with the first 10 turns or something like that. Even though it's still a Tempo Mage, the other one could also run out of steam at some point. Well, at least probably if played incorrectly, as I normally do. So also we have a Flame Strike. So, and not only for those legendaries that we saw in the other one, we also got another legendary. Freikuk himself used Dr. Boom, I'm pretty certain, but since I don't have one and I don't intend to actually make it with all the dust that I have right now, I just put in Kel'Thuzad, because that was actually something that that Freikuk used earlier, but had him removed for something else. Either for, I don't think it was Ragnaros, I think it was some of those minions over here. I can't exactly remember what it was, but I thought, well, if I don't have Dr. Boom, Kel'Thuzad is in mana cost pretty much the same, while completely different in his purpose. Still very interesting and should work together with a Tempo Mage. So I really am interested in using this, and any excuse to use Kel'Thuzad is always a good reason to play a deck. So without further rambling of me, let's just go onto the ladder and see if we can get someone. Unlike usually, I'm actually going to make this video on a very early time in the morning, as you can see. Not early in the morning, yeah, well, at 12 p.m. really. But it still seems like we're actually going to go up against an opponent rather fast, so it doesn't seem like there's any problem with actually doing that. Oh, nice animations on that. So we have actually going to go against the mage, the first mage actually with an with a skin on it too, with going for Medivh. Very cool. Also the animations I really liked. I would probably say keep the unstable portal for turn 2, and then we probably would need some kind of frostbolt. And I would also had hope for a flame cannon or a mana worm. But that isn't it, so well, hello. Little bit irritating that I'm actually not playing with sounds on, because then I would actually be able to listen to his new emotes, but oh well, at least you can. Unstable portal, because there's no other reason to. Also looks like he is a tempo mage. So it could more probably be a good idea to actually go for the Death Lord. We have no other thing to do, and I'm pretty certain that we can at least deal with this. This is going to be a tempo deck, obviously. Just due to the fact that this is a mirror image, and that is a tempo card, as I explained last week. So, well, we see a secret. I don't hope that is a duplicate. I really don't hope that is. So, question is, if it is a mirror entity, which is most likely, Pilot the Shredder would be really irritating to play next turn. While getting the Frostbolt with a counter spell is okay, I guess. I mean, if I just can Fire Blast this, then I can go for the Frostbolt next turn and Fire Blast and hopefully ping whatever he would play. So I think we can at least check for okay, so now we know one of them, both of them are going to be down. I don't think that this is going to be a counter spell in any way. So if we can get the mill entity with this, okay. Well played. Okay, that is really cool. So this is actually not any kind of tempo mage. This is actually a freeze mage, and I'm not really certain if that is actually a good matchup for us. Just due to the fact that, well, we now know that this is an ice block, so we just have to really get everything going here. That's a mech warper for some weird reason, but the I'm not completely certain if actually the fact that the ice, the freeze mage actually is all about stalling your opponent. I don't think actually a tempo-based deck will be able to actually deal with it. Okay, so a dancing swords instead. Oh, cool animations too. Still called Fire Blast, but it's certainly something different. Also, interestingly enough, this is a golden one, but the rest of the portrait isn't. I mean, it's still animated, but the rest of the gold still is lacking. So that's very interesting that this is golden while the rest isn't. But let's give me another card. Why not? And there we have at least a Flame Strike. I don't really see any reason to use it, but actually, I would rather wait one extra turn before going for the lower step, just so that we can. It was a counter spell. Huh. Well, that makes me wonder what this actually is we're playing against. He already has used his coin, so we don't really need to worry about any kind of Flame Strike this turn. So, I mean, the fact that this guy has actually invested into a skin on the mage gotta show that he actually knows what he's doing. So, I am still really very much completely... Okay, so that is actually good that that counter spell got down, because that would actually have ruined us completely. So let's go for Flame Cannon on that. The counter spell is already gone. And kill it. And let's go... duplicate. Well, that is a thing. Well, let's go for lower theft then, because then he cannot go for a Flame Strike. We have more than enough minions to deal with any Doomsayers. Yeah, he can actually not really deal with this board. There's a Death Lord, interestingly enough. So it looks like something like a mill mage, maybe? Could this be a mill mage? I mean, it would also make sense to use mill stuff in, or use all of this free stuff in a mill mage, so... Shouldn't this work? I mean, if we just go in like... This would if you go in with this, right, then this would go down to 2 HP, meaning that it would be able to be killed still by Flame Strike and a Blizzard. This would still be alive after a Flame Strike, and he would still be 1 turn away from actually being able to Fire Blast on top of it. So I think keeping the extra HP on lower step rather than the extra 1 HP on Asia or 2 HP on Asia Drake is going to make it more worth it, because we have to probably deal with both Blizzards and Flame Strikes. But it seems like we're going to see... I thought with this we probably would see some kind of Blizzard maybe, because then he could kill lots of stuff we have here. But it's actually a mill mage, so that's cool. Good to know. Actually, we're still even on the win streak from last week, and we win. So interestingly enough, a tempo mage actually deals with a mill mage, at least in this game. And maybe also, I couldn't say if it would make sense to also work against a freeze mage, because a lot of the stuff in the freeze mage is all about stalling, and then I cannot really do anything that is tempo based if he keeps on stalling me. So I'm still not certain if it's just because I was lucky and he didn't have the answers for everything that I had. But I don't think that we really should have won that. At least if he was a freeze mage. Maybe the fact that the mill mage is so complicated, and last time we played it we only lost 2, so it would make sense that that also would happen. So a turn 2 and the turn 3 play, turn 4 would also happen. So we would only need some kind of turn 1, maybe another Frostbolt. Could work on another turn 3. That is also cool. So we can coin a Frostbolt turn 1 to kill any kind of Zoo stuff. Then we can follow it up with a Mech Warper turn 2 and a Piloted Shredder turn 3. That should be really, really strong. The worst thing that could happen this next turn would be a Knife Juggler. The best thing that could happen next turn would be the a Spider. So if the Spider goes down, actually, the 1/2 Spider that I forgot what it's called, Spectral Spider, I think. Then we can really just go down with the Mech Warper and then the Piloted Shredder. Okay, so we're going to see a Nerubian Axe, so it is not a Zoo lock, it is a Demon lock. And we will have to be aware of the fact that we can run into a Power Overwhelming. Damn, let's try and say that again. Power Overwhelming. Or run into that, and that would then be able to pretty much shut us down a little bit, but there we go. Pretty much able to deal with everything. We could actually, on top of this, go for the Mana Worm, Frostbolt into the Void Walker and trade. We will still be able to play the Pilot Shredder next turn. We will have a Mana Worm, a 2/3/1. We will have dealt with the whole board. He will only have 2 cards in his hand. He will probably be forced to use Life Tap then. He didn't have anything that was 2 mana this turn. We could also just Fire Blast this and go in and maybe Fire Blast in and then Mana Worm. Nah, wouldn't really be worth it. So I think actually going for the Mana Worm with Frostbolt here, while it is true that would have been better to life-wise on the Mech Warper to Fire Blast into the Leper Gnome. Having Fire Blast in there, I wouldn't have been able to deal with the taunt. So I would only have a 1/3 down and a 2/3 down. Wouldn't really have done anything for me. And I don't think he has a Mortal Coil. I'm not completely sure what he is. He seems like either a very aggressive demon lock or some kind of Zoo with some extra demons in it, maybe. Well, there you go. At least that is something. Well, Mech Warper then, and that should make this one down to not enough, sadly, but let's just go for face, because let's force him to trade. Seems like a good idea. Really irritated though that we cannot get the Flamewaker together with a spell, so that Direwolf Alpha though is also going to be irritating. That is going to make for some really good trading on his half. But he actually chooses to go for the Mech Warper instead of the Piloted Shredder, so it seems like he is thinking that we are going to go for the Mech Mage thing, so it may have worked. Not completely certain about that, but let's kill that so it cannot really trigger the other Nerubian egg. And we can go for the mirror entity together with a fire blast. Then he will probably have to trade this way. I like that, actually. That is the best trading for us. If we can force this trade here, we will actually again have board control. We were actually pretty much losing it right now, so I think actually going for this, he will live tap. He can still go for something on 4 mana. And still a power overwhelming would still be really irritating. Mirror entity on Leper Gnome, not really the best. And there's the other direwolf. Actually, trading that way is very interesting. I would trade, yes, thank you. The Nerubian egg into the Paddle Shredder makes more sense. Because then your other Nerubian would still be alive. I mean, we still have a Flame Strike in the deck to actually deal with all of this, so it should be fine. So if we actually can get Sylvanas down, that could probably do something good. I mean, he will probably trade like these two in, and then I will only get a 4-2. But I will have dealt with his whole board in one turn. I can also kill this 4-2 and then Fire Blast it in the hopes not to, and then go on the roll on the Leper Gnome. And not hoping not to get that, but looks like he's actually just washing us down at this point. Harvest Golem, yeah, very sticky minions. I like it. Flame Cannon, perfect. So we finally have some synergy for the Flame Cannon, for the Flamewaker. Close enough. So we're still in the same spot right now, actually. I can still do the 50-50. Go in here and then 50-50, hoping to get the 4-4 Nerubian. But if I do get the Leper Gnome, I'm ending up with a 4-4 versus a 2-4 and a 2-1. So I will have to trade very inefficiently to do that. So it's a risky play, but I can also go into that and kill that. Have this one still at 1 HP. Would go down to 10 HP then. He would have to use 2 power overwhelming or Doomguard to kill me then. So I think this and actually killing the Leper Gnome and not going for the roll on that is the better choice. More safe, though may also just be the nail in the coffin here, really. I'm thinking taking the risk and actually getting some good stuff out of it could also have been what had been needed to actually get something. Now we got nothing, actually. Something that I completely forgot would be a possibility. And now Doomguard, at least the Doomguard went to into the Flamewaker here. So if you can get the Fireball out of it, that would have been good. Sadly, we are 1 mana away from actually being able to deal with all of this. He has 7 damage on the board, so he can pretty much half the current amount of HP. But the other Doomguard went away, so only Soulfires and Dark Bombs and Power Overwhelmings are actually any kind of problems right now. And he feels rather safe, and I can understand that. Going for another life tap here. Void Walkers. Nearly saying White Walkers there, but okay. That is going to be really irritating. We really need not that. I was looking for something completely different. I mean, at least we will be now able to pretty much shut everything down that he has right now with the Sludge Belcher and the Mana Worm, together with a Fire Blast next turn. But we still need that Flame Strike, that is the word. And now he even goes for the Knife Jugger, so... And I don't think... does he actually have another one of these imps? Well, that is going to be more than enough. To pretty much be the nail in the coffin here. Actually, another Flame Strike would still be pretty much able to turn everything around. If I actually still play it very much safe. But that, it was really not a very good use out of the Sylvanas that I really did. That's the Flame Strike. I didn't even need to get the Doomguard to trade to get it to work. So let's actually... He has 5 in his hand, he says. So it's going to be very interesting actually to see what he has in mind. Haunted Creeper is not going to... Well, that is a taunt, that is cool. But I can just kill it and Fire Blast it. Then I would still have 1 damage to the face next turn. Lower threat is going to pretty much be a kill here. That is not going to keep me alive. That is not a fireball. So well played. Dying to a Zulok, I guess is... I'm pretty certain actually that is the worst matchup for a Tempo Mage. So I guess it's actually should be expected. And maybe actually it was... I got him pretty far down actually. We were pretty close. Though he always had the upper hand just a little bit and enough to actually win the game. So, well played by him, and the deck looks to be working while a little less aggressive than the other one. So, let's try it out once more next time, and let's then see if we can get a conclusion on these two decks. So, thank you for watching. See ya!